Welcome to Nightfire Archives. This is a place for the things that don't make the news, the stories that never made it past a debrief, or got buried in late night conversations between people who saw something they couldn't explain. I've got a story sent to me by someone who served in Afghanistan. No monsters, no missing people, just something they saw and never forgot. This isn't a Hollywood scare, it's not polished, it's just a memory. But with that being said, let's get into it. I don't usually talk about this, not because I'm scared of it, but because I don't have a good explanation. And in this line of work, if you can't explain it, most people usually chalk it up to stress or sleep deprivation. But I was there, and I remember every second of it. It was late 2012, late in my second deployment. I was 26, infantry, Marine Corps. I'd been in country for about 5 months. The heat had finally broken and those cold Afghan nights were back. We'd been cycling through small recon assignments, mostly overwatch, route confirmation, supply line observation. Pretty quiet rotation, all things considered. This mission was different. We were tasked with the CTR operation, close Target Reconnaissance. Small team, it was just 3 of us. Myself, my buddy Pete, and our team lead, Staff Sergeant Weller. Good dudes, and they were professional. We'd worked together long enough to move without speaking. The objective was a suspected smuggling route running east, close to the Pakistan border. The area was blacked out. No villages, no patrols, just high ground and ancient trails. We were to get eyes on traffic, no any patterns or crossings. 4 nights, no engagements, just observe and report. This route, we'd been told, was used to ferry weapons. They were mostly old Soviet leftovers, but there were some fresh Chinese knockoffs. Small arms, RPGs, maybe the occasional man-pad. Nevertheless, it was pretty real stuff. It was dangerous. The smugglers moved in small groups, usually at night, sticking to goat paths the locals hadn't used in years. We were inserted by helo just before sundown, dropped into a valley that opened up into a high ridgeline. It was perfect overwatch. We hiked in quietly, there was no problem. Set up a hasty hide, camo netting, and rotated into shifts. Night 1 was textbook. Nothing but dry air, stars, and silence. We logged 2 animal crossings, maybe a shepherd's dog off course. The kind of stuff you mark down, but you don't really remember. Night 2 was when it started. About 2:30 in the morning. I was on watch. I had the binos. Pete was next to me, messing with his thermal. Weller was asleep under a poncho liner. I scanned the valley like I always did. That's when I caught some movement. At first I thought it was a hyena or like a dog, something on 4 legs, but then it rose up. Not fully upright, but high enough to look just wrong. Arms and legs were both visible, but bent weird, like it had too many joints. It was real thin, like it hadn't eaten. It moved slow at first, then it stopped. Dead still. I got Pete's attention. He looked through the thermals and shook his head. He said cold, like it's not even there. We watched it for maybe a minute before it darted behind some rocks. It was fast, almost too fast. We didn't wake Weller, no need. We wrote it off, probably nerves or shadows or lack of sleep. Night 3 we were jumpy. I didn't even wait for 2:30. I was already scanning. Sure enough, same time. Movement again. This time it was closer, maybe 150 yards, standing upright now. Just tall and motionless. It was pale. I don't even know how to describe it. It wasn't glowing, but it stood out, like your eyes couldn't not look at it. Pete whispered, "It's not a person." It didn't move for the longest time, then suddenly, it stepped behind a rock and just disappeared. There's no noise, no rustling, it was just gone. We stayed on edge the rest of the night. I didn't sleep. Weller took us aside in the morning. He said we'd cut our final observation night and exfil a day early. I think he may have saw it too, even if he didn't say. But we ended up staying one more night. That's when everything got worse. It started with small sounds, pebbles shifting, something moving near our perimeter. We checked our sensors and there was nothing. No animals had tripped the lines. Then came the feeling, like we weren't alone. Like someone was just outside the hide. watching. Pete swore he saw it through the netting. Said it was crouched just about 10 feet away. Its head was tilted. I didn't see it, but I believed him. We didn't talk the rest of the night. No one slept. We had our rifles in hands and our eyes were wide. We were just waiting. But it didn't really stop there. It started circling. We could hear it. Real faint footsteps. There was crunching gravel. Then it stopped. Then it picked back up again on the other side of the hide, like it was almost testing us. Every few minutes it would stop and we'd hear nothing. Then a rock would shift, like someone was trying to get a better look. The hide was well covered, but not perfect. In the moonlight, maybe someone or something could make us out. At one point, Weller whispered, "That's not Taliban." And that was it. We didn't talk again. Maybe an hour before sunrise, we picked up distant voices on the wind. They were real faint. I think they were speaking Pashto, maybe Dari. I couldn't really tell. Probably with smugglers. Might have been ghost talk. Didn't really matter, though. We froze. No one lit up nods or scopes. We weren't about to give our position away. The voices died down, but whatever was outside just didn't leave. The pacing kept up. Always just outside our blind spot. Then we heard it climb. Clawing up the rocks, not running, but fast, then silence. And right before sunrise, we all heard something knock. Once. Against the side of a boulder near us. Not loud, just deliberate. Like a hand or a fist. But that did it. We packed, quiet, controlled, but we were fast. Weller didn't even argue. We humped out early and radioed for extraction while moving. We exfilled about 6 hours later. The Chinook never looked so good. Back at the FOB, nobody said much. The debrief was clean. No contact, no movement. Recommended continued monitoring. I told a Navy guy I knew. He said it could have been smugglers screwing with us. Locals apparently don't like foreign teams watching their trails. Said some groups use psychological warfare, like lights and sound, and sometimes whispers. Makes you paranoid enough to leave. Maybe, but that thing we saw, it didn't move like a man. And it sure as hell wasn't trying to chase us off. It was curious, like we were the strange ones. Pete still remembers it though. I asked him a year later, same time, same details, and he said something I think about a lot. He said, "I don't think it wanted to hurt us, but it wanted us to know it was there." And honestly, I think it did. That was the story, one of many. And whether it was a smuggler's trick, some unknown local presence, or something else entirely, it left an impression strong enough to stay with a Marine over a decade later. If you got something strange you've seen, send it my way. This is Nightfire Archives, and this is just the beginning.